Hello, my name is Evie, and welcome back to Paint and Parables, the channel where I express my love for Jesus through artwork and the proclamation of His Word. If you're still watching, then the title here must have caught your eye. Today as I paint, I want to give you my perspective on that. There are a lot of people who ask some really good questions about my faith, so I want to start a series where I answer them. Now, I am in no way claiming to be an all-knowing professional. I'm just a girl who wants to share some of the love that's transformed my way of living life. Also, I feel like there are a lot of misconceptions about Jesus right now, due to the toxicity of some people who claim to be Christian but commit terrible atrocities to others. Let me start off by saying this. Jesus cares about the life of every single person, no matter who they are or what they look like. In fact, Jesus tells us many times to look out for the poor and the most oppressed parts of our society, saying in Revelation that those who feed, clothe, and love on those who are in need are His true servants. You can't claim to serve God, who is the embodiment of goodness, love, and moral perfection, and then have no empathy for strangers. People who hate on others, who harm others, or who have shifty morals that change in order to excuse their own actions are not children of God. And to circle back to our topic, why does a good God allow bad things to happen? And the answer is a little more complicated than you may think. But to sum it up in one word, free will. There may be plenty of you out there watching right now who may know that there might be more to life than just doing whatever, dying, and then it's all black and you're nothing. There has to be more to life, and thank goodness there is. To answer the question, we have to go way back. I'm sure most people have heard this story before, but I'll tell it to you in summary. In the beginning, there was God. And there with God was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was also with God. Think of it as water. Water can be ice or gas, but all three are still water. God is the Creator, and the embodiment of love, goodness, and perfection. And in order to maintain this, He chose to give all creations free will, whether they chose to be good or bad. This is because God wants to love and to be loved just like we do. How would you feel if you had a child, but they had only the option to love you, and they were given no other capacity to disobey you? It wouldn't be genuine. You would want them to choose to love you out of their own free will, not because they were simply programmed to. And God created heaven and the angels, but He was missing something. You and I. He wanted to create a being that was similar to Him, who He could have a one-on-one relationship with. That is why a lot of Christian people use language like child of God, because that's what He created us to be. Then He created a man, and soon He realized that man needed a companion similar to him, that would be his partner and helper in the mission to take care of the earth. So He made Eve. He made her from a part of Adam's rib so that she would have everything he was missing. And together they symbolize all parts of God. The protecting and strong parts, as well as the caring and nurturing parts. After He created the first man and woman, Adam and Eve, they were sent into the Garden of Eden to take care of it and to enjoy it, and God would often walk with them on the earth. But one day, one of the 4 archangels named Lucifer, who was in charge of music in heaven, became prideful because he saw how beautiful God made him. And in his pride, he grew a desire to control and take the throne from God. So he told the first lie. And he deceived a third of the angels in heaven into rebelling against God. So as punishment, they were cast out of heaven and fell down onto earth. And then Satan saw Adam and Eve, because they reminded him so much of the God he was trying to depose. Lucifer was jealous of them. He disguised himself as a serpent in order to trick them into breaking their connection with God. And so while Adam and Eve were walking in the garden, Lucifer tricked Eve into biting one of the forbidden fruits. She gave Adam some, and he did the same. And they experienced shame for the first time. It was so shocking that they became ashamed of the way God made them and covered themselves with leaves and hid from God. You may be wondering what this has to do with their question, but don't worry, I'm getting there. So, originally, God made Adam and Eve's bodies to be perfect. He never intended them to die. But sin is basically darkness, as in separation from God. So, meaning, when we do things that go against all that God is, meaning love, goodness, and moral perfection, the result is a separation from God. And that separation is what we call sin. That's also why many sins in the Bible line up with things that generally harm yourself or others, because it goes against the nature of who God is. And because sin is the action you take which puts distance between you and God, Adam and Eve broke the holy connection that they had with God when they disobeyed him. So he had to take them out of Eden so that the sin issue could eventually be removed from humans without taking away any being's free will. Because if God took away Lucifer's free will to tempt Adam and Eve, that would make him a hypocrite, saying basically, if you don't do what I like, I will literally reboot your programming. Now there will be consequences for what the devil did, but that's the difference here. He has to live with his actions. No one can say God forced him to act a certain way. And God could have prevented Eve from biting the forbidden fruit, but it was her choice whether she wanted to obey God or not. And their relationship wouldn't have been real if she was not choosing out of her own free will to be there. There will be a punishment for those who choose to harm others in this life. Those who do it in unnoticed ways, like poisoning our food so that only healthy food is accessible to the rich. So those who abuse their power to harm those who are poor and in need. Sin is separation from God, so you get to choose your own judgment. In this life, you can choose to live in goodness, love, and moral perfection with the help of Jesus, the Son of God, because when you form a relationship with him, he will help you with everything. Or you can choose to do things that separate you from him, and God will respect your choice to be separate from him, even in the next life. This isn't meant to intimidate anyone, but simply give you a perspective that you may not have gotten before. I don't say God is real to motivate you to vote a certain way or act a certain way or trick you into buying something. I say God is real because he's truly changed my life. Thank you guys so much for staying and watching this video this long. And if you have any questions, I'll be leaving my Instagram in the description. Thank you.